time. Oh, you want something to eat? Sure. Sit down. So, heard about Vicksburg. Probably wasn't easy, was it?
Oh, you got that right, Johnny boy.
Oh, yeah. So, heard Pemberton ran off crying. Wouldn't surprise me one bit if that were true. So, why was Vicksburg so important anyway?
Well, its location, of course. It controls the Mississippi. You know, that cuts the Confederacy right in half. You know, Lincoln said that capturing Vicksburg was key to bringing the Union back together, and that Vicksburg was the father of the waters. I had made several attempts before to try to capture Vicksburg, but I failed. You know, so after our naval defeat, I thought we had to come back even stronger.
A while later, after my failures at the Battle of Chickasaw Bluffs, the Yazoo Pass expedition, and Steele's Bayou expedition, I gathered more troops and finally decided to frontally attack Vicksburg on May 19th. Sherman's corps assaulted the Confederate Army, marching from north along Graveyard into murderous Confederate fire from Stockade Redden, a large triangular Confederate fort. All the Union got from this attack were casualties, but our spirits were high for the next attack set on May 22nd. We expected Vicksburg to fall easily. That day we shot at rebel soldiers for about 4 hours before we attacked again on a 3-mile front. We broke along through some rebel lines, but we were eventually pushed back. General J. A. McClernand's men had some success, so they attacked once more. Through his ambition, many Union lives were wasted. I still remain outraged at this man for his failed attempt.
After the first 2 attacks on Vicksburg, I received a note from Johnston, a commander of the Confederate Army, to evacuate the city in order to save my men. I didn't think that this would be such a good idea. We'd be captured by the Union Army if we dared try such a thing. It would be way too hard to evacuate safely. So, Johnston decided to help me out by distracting Grant's men. Johnston staged a preemptive attack so that my men could safely leave Vicksburg. However, Johnston's plan didn't work. Grant's army surrounded us, and soon we began to fight back and forth.
We received some extra men to help us form a ring around Vicksburg. We had about 70,000 men. We bombarded the rebels day and night. While we were surrounding Vicksburg, my troops picked up shovels and began to dig zigzag trenches within yards of the enemy retinue. Soon, the opposing lines became so close to each other that men could call back and forth. I wanted to hold on to the few miles that I had left of the Mississippi because I thought that help from other parts of the Confederacy would come, but they didn't. Eventually, we confronted a new problem. The dead Union soldiers lay in the heat while the wounded cried for help. On the 25th of May, we requested a truce so that the Union could clean up their mess. At first, Grant refused, but finally he gave in. On June 7, we attacked Milliken's Bend up the Mississippi in order to cut Grant's supply line. Our loss of 185 men left us hopeless for relief, except from Johnston. All through the month of June, Union troops dug trenches that were close to the Confederate lines. We were afraid to poke our heads above the trenches for fear of Confederate snipers shooting our heads off. We set off explosives below Confederate lines, but unfortunately, we weren't very successful. The Confederates always fixed the gaps made from the explosives, yet they made the city more compact.
It was at the Siege of Vicksburg, of Vicksburg, of Vicksburg. It was at the Siege of Vicksburg, when the parrot shells were whistling through the air. Listen to the parrot shell, listen to the parrot shell, the parrot shell whistling through the air. Listen to the parrot shell, listen to the parrot shell, the parrot shell whistling through the air.
At the hour of our death, amen.
Oh, mistress.
Nancy, why do you look so distressed?
The Yankees are pouring over and our men are running. Look, see.
Oh my.
Look, gunboats are towing mortars into range. We must go into the caves. We must hurry.
William! What is it,
my darling?
We must go to the caves.
Why?
Look. The gunboats.
Oh my gosh. Let us leave. Let's leave. Grab the quilt.
Nancy, what's the even point of being down here? There's nothing going on outside. We are totally safe in our house.
Well, everybody else is down here.
But everyone else is not us. Now, are they?
No.
We are totally fine in our home. Let's go.
Nancy, get the quilt. This is the city of Vicksburg. Here's the Mississippi River, and here is a Union soldier bombarding Vicksburg, day and night. Here is Emma Balfour, and this is her husband, William Balfour, and they are standing next to their porch, watching the fighting go on. Here are some Confederate soldiers. Here's their Confederate flag. Here's a church in Vicksburg, and there's a cross. Here are some Confederate soldiers, and this is their food, and each of them have a biscuit, and each of them have a piece of bacon. They don't eat that much, because their rations had to be cut. Here's a hospital, and here are two women taking care of a Confederate soldier who had been wounded. Here are some more Confederate soldiers, and they're shooting at the Union soldiers, which are in the trenches over here. Here's a Union soldier, lots of Union soldiers. Here's a wounded Union soldier, who's not quite dead. And here is a dead Union soldier, and eventually they picked up their dead soldiers and took them away. And so down here in the caves below the city are some people, and many of the citizens of Vicksburg wanted to stay in the caves to be sheltered from the cannons and the parrot shells. Here's a woman, and here's some men, and here's a man that had died of malnutrition because he did not get enough to eat, and they had to eat rat meat. This is rat, because that was all they had to eat. Come here, Grant. Gotta talk to you.
Yes?
We both know this battle has been going on long enough. You know, I think we should end this. July 4th, maybe? I will surrender, but under one condition. My men have to be let go because they have been through so much, and some of them haven't seen their families, and we're tired.
Do you honestly think that old unconditional Grant will let you have a conditional surrender? Do you? Do you?
Yeah,
Honestly?
yeah.
You think that?
Yeah.
Well, you are wrong.
Okay.
Pemberton, you are wrong.
Well, you're mean.
If your guys leave, they will be prisoners of war and come to the Union prisons.
There has to be an alternative.
No. No alternative. My way or the highway. And there's no highways here.
Well, good. You're making this hard on me, Grant. But I'll unconditionally surrender, I guess. July 4th.
1863. And now, that is how it happened.
Interesting. How long did it last?
About 47 days the siege did.
How many casualties were there?
Well, on the Union side, we had about 4,671. And those rebels down there, they lost about 32,363, I believe.
So, why was Vicksburg so important?
Remember, the location, you know, right on the Mississippi?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I best be getting going. It's getting kind of dark out here.
Yeah.
The food was mighty nice of you. See you later. Tell Margaret I said hello.
Okay.
Bye, Johnny boy.
Bye, Ulysses.
Come on, Shaw. Yip, yip.
It was at the Siege of Vicksburg, of Vicksburg, of Vicksburg. It was at the Siege of Vicksburg, when the parrot shells were whistling through the air. Listen to the parrot shell, listen to the parrot shell, the parrot shell whistling through the air. Listen to the parrot shell, listen to the parrot shell, the parrot shell whistling through the air.